Hello, this is Brett Storm, and this is the 300 subscriber special Q&A. First question is from Juanjo. Sorry if I mispronounced it. How long does it take to you to make a video? This is it depends on if it's a big CPV like WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, or if it's a minor weekly show at Raw, SmackDown, NXT. It depends really on how big the show is. Normally it would, for like a minor show, shortest it would take would be a day. Longest probably 3 days, I don't know. It doesn't really take that long for a weekly show to be completed. WrestleMania, it takes a lot longer because there's a lot more matches, a lot more bigger stuff that needs to happen on those shows. So probably about a week working on all the matches and editing. Yeah, probably about a week for like WrestleMania, SummerSlam and stuff. For the BCPVs, like 5 days at a maximum if I'm motivated enough. Yeah, this is all depending on if I'm motivated enough to actually finish it, if I'm focusing on that specifically. Because like the All-Star Tournament, I mean, I know some people liked it, but considering how long it was, the reason it took so long to do it was because I was unmotivated. But if I'm motivated to do it, motivated to make the show, then probably 4 or 5 days would be how long it takes me to make an XWP show. Ronnie Martinez asks, who is your favorite call superstar besides myself, and why? This one is a really hard question to answer, simply because there's so many great ones. And I think there's a question later on that it's kind of exactly the same, except it's kind of easier because it's top 10 or whatever. So I won't answer that question for now, and I'll wait for the question that's later on. This next question was actually, YouTube actually made me have to approve it, which, I mean, yes, it can be seen as a little bit cheeky, but I don't really. Some person called Stinky Cats, never seen this person comment before, so I guess it might be a little bit cheeky, but I don't know. Will you ever play a different game? Funnily enough, me and Matteo have been planning to do sort of series where we face off in different games like Gang Beasts, Rocket League, other types of wrestling games like Fire Pro Wrestling. Yes, we've improved since the terrible match we had in the first ever video we did of Fire Pro Wrestling. We're much better at it now. So basically, the answer is yes. I will be playing more games, different games, other than wrestling ones, like the ones I mentioned, and some other games. Unsure when this series will start, but is something me and Matteo want to do. I want to start, but as for when, unsure, but it will happen sometime. Leandro Miguel Garcia asks, what is the best match in XWP in your opinion? Man, it is difficult to pinpoint an exact one. I would say it's definitely one of the ones that the CWO has rated 5 stars or more. But as for one that is my favorite, probably Angel Alexander vs Mr. Macho SummerSlam, or the Fatal 4-Way NXT title match at TakeOver New York. Maybe the Hell in a Cell match between Sweat and Jacob Cass, Anthony Payne. Those are a few examples. I'm unsure really. That's probably, it's one of those three that I like the best. Now here's that one that I was talking about earlier. George Montino? I'm unsure how you pronounce it again. As, sorry if I mispronounce any YouTube account names or whatever. He asks, top 10 car wrestlers and real life wrestlers. For car wrestlers, like I said before, when it was like pinpointed one, the top favorite car wrestler, I'm unsure. It's definitely easier because it's top 10 instead, but it's still very difficult. Definitely guys like Angel Alexander, Mr. Macho be quite high up there. Sean Avery, Matty Khan, Matteo, Mr. Black. It's not going to be in any order, but those ones definitely. I don't want to mention myself, but egotistical. Plus, that's the other person. I think it was John Joe. No, Ronnie Martinez. He said about accept myself, so I'm not gonna put myself in the top 10. Other calls are like Max Mercury, Angel as in YWE Angel, Shadow, Sean Sokolov, Undershock. Basically those ones. There's a bunch more. From forgetting anybody that should be in like a top 10 car list. Arrow, Doggy Dog, Sean from AWC, Rocky N from AWC. If I'm missing anybody else that should be in a top 10 list like that, sorry, I just forgot. Real life wrestlers. AJ Styles is definitely my favorite current wrestler. Undertaker's always going to be there. Like, this, he's pretty much the greatest, like, of all time, really. Chris Jericho, Cesaro, probably up there, considering he's just really underrated by WWE. Once again, it's kind of hard because 10 wrestlers that you gotta choose, and how you narrow it down to 10. But of course I'm not gonna rank them, that'd just be way too hard. So AJ, Undertaker, Jericho, Cesaro, Tommaso Ciampa, really enjoy him. Oh, Bray Wyatt, thanks to his new, Firefly Funhouse he's been doing the past few months, really rejuvenated his character. It's just hard to do top 10 of all time for stuff like that. But I've given a good selection there, so I'll move on to the next question. CEW/OCW, pretty much the owner of OCW and CEW, asks, if I could do an XWP feud all over again, which feud would I do and what would I do differently? Well, there's two that stick out in my mind. One, which wouldn't exactly do much difference because in season 3, he and the person would ended up leaving XWP. Mario Sanchez versus Goldberg. I would have definitely changed if I knew that I would have not had Goldberg in XWP after WrestleMania, because the reason he no longer appeared is because of the backlash from a couple of people. Not going to mention names, but I definitely, if I knew that I would have not used Goldberg after WrestleMania 2, I would have definitely had Mario Sanchez defeat Goldberg on that show there. The other feud, well, considering not exactly much people like it anymore. They like the build, but the matches, not so much, except the IW WrestleMania one. That was definitely a really good match. Matteo versus Doggy Dog. I would have not had Doggy Dog answer the open challenge of WrestleMania. I would have done something different because, yeah, it was a lose-lose situation. Doggy Dog comes up and looks kind of like a chump for losing. Matteo, who couldn't really afford a loss, he had a lot of momentum, couldn't have really lost. I think I wish I did a different NXT superstar to face Matteo at WrestleMania. So that's what would have done differently for both Matteo versus Doggy Dog and Mario Sanchez versus Goldberg. Brendan X asks, what NXT call-ups this year do you think could be the future? And of course by this he means XWP NXT. Future of XWP for NXT. Sean Sokolov is definitely one that would definitely be a future star. Undershock, I feel like he's had a crazy rise from being a jobber, a tag team guy, and then having a big rise, which actually started in IWA when he beat me for the Hardcore Championship. Then he won the NXT Rumble. So Sean Sokolov and Undershock, definitely the two I could see being future world champions out of the people who are currently in NXT. Not counting Doggy Dog, even though he definitely could win another world title, I don't know, but I could change plans. But Doggy Dog, I'm not going to count him simply because he's pretty much called up now. He's on SmackDown. He's on both brands just now simply because he's the NXT champion. But Sean Sokolov, Undershock, for sure. Matteo asks, who is your favourite mid-carder and main eventer in NXT? Any of the three brands. Favourite mid-carder. When I read this question, I think, who in the mid-card do we see definitely going in the main event? Who in the main event do I see staying in the main event? Anthony Payne for mid-carder to main event, because even though he's in big matches and has main evented, he's definitely still a mid-carder, but I can definitely see him going to the main event. There's a few other ones I'll put in there. Seth Turner, Chris Dunn, Jet Elliott, the current 6-man tag team champions. Definitely see them becoming future world champions. Favorite main eventer? Simply because of just out of nowhere, just how out of nowhere his popularity rise was. I just thought he would be a good world champion instead of just being like having a big popularity surge, like having a big rise in popularity. Mr. Macho, his XW title reign gave that championship prestige. It was just a very good reign as champion. Made me really enjoy him I really enjoy Mr. Macho as a call, so he'd be my favourite main eventer. Matthew also asks, what is your favourite XWP CPV? I've said this a couple times in the car chat, in the car community group chat, but not anywhere, not on YouTube or anything. The XWP Psychopath Season 3. I feel like that is my favourite XWP CPV that I've ever done, which may be surprising to some people considering it's not SummerSlam or WrestleMania or Royal Rumble or Survivor Series. It's not a big NXT takeover like New York, No Escape. It's a BCPV, Psychopath. But the amount of great matches there was on that show. Matthew vs. Mike House, the tag team Hell in a Cell match. There was Randy vs. Vix. There was an Intercontinental Championship change. Jackson Montgomery wins the championship. A 6-man tag title change. There was just so much on that show. Also, one of Cyclopa's best matches before officially going to the main event. It was a really good show. In fact, I'd say I think that's pretty much all the hardcore title stuff as well, which was the low point of the show, but not everything's perfect. XWP Psychopath Season 3, in my opinion, is a near perfect show. So that is my favourite XWP CPV. Mike House asks, who is the ace of my show? Well, considering the guy has the most 5-star matches in my show, I guess he could be considered the ace. Angel Alexander. I'm sure I don't really want to say who is the ace, who's not. I don't really see. There's definitely people I push more than others, but I don't really see them as aces or anything. But probably if there was one, it would definitely be Angel Alexander, considering, well, he's had the biggest rise in main events of a lot. I think if there's anybody who is an ace of XWP, it'd be Angel Alexander. Who's my favourite call that is an outsider from XWP? I assume that means it's like somebody who's never been in XWP. So, considering the All-Star Tournament happening, this is kind of taken a lot of them out, because technically the All-Star Tournament is XWP. So, kind of unsure, but maybe Golf from AWC, or I don't really know for sure. Who'd be my favorite. I've always liked Diamond Juice. Rogan, not Rogan Rex. He was in XWP for one match at Backlash, but Rogan, like leader of RKO in YWE, I liked him quite a lot. Yeah, there's just quite a lot of people that have been in XWP thanks to the All-Star Tournament, so it's down to more mid-card. Oh wait, actually Dynamite was in the All-Star Tournament. Yeah, no, I think Rogan, Diamond Juice, Golf from AWC. Yeah, I think that's mostly it, really. And then Mike House also asked top 5 rivalries in all of wrestling. He did say rank them, but I won't rank them. I'll just, what is the top 5? Considering solo wrestling, it's not gonna be just WWE. Might be, but top 5 rivalries. That's another one that's really hard, considering pretty much anything that's ranking or just saying who is the best, hard because there's so many great ones. Stone Cold vs. Rock, definitely one of them. Definitely one of the best rivalries. I know I was born after that rivalry pretty much finished. Although they did have the 2003 match. But Stone Cold vs. Rock is definitely up there. Stone Cold vs. Bret Hart, definitely up there. Cena versus AJ Styles is a very good rivalry. For a modern day rivalry, that was very good. There's, I know I'm in annoying just a lot. Yeah, those three definitely would be three rivalries that stick out in my mind as like top rivalries. And another old school one, Hogan Andre, that was just a very good rivalry, more storytelling, not in a ring of course, but it was still a very good rivalry. Other good rivalries, Cena vs CM Punk. I don't know why I completely forgot about that. John Cena, CM Punk. Of course that's got to be considered one of the greatest rivalries. Had so many great moments in it. They had great chemistry and stuff as well in the matches. So that's 4. Weird how two of them have two of them has got Stone Cold, 2 of them has got Cena. I know they're great wrestlers, but it's a little bit weird. The 5th one, Stone Cold vs McMahon. That's the 3rd one with Austin. Stone Cold has so much great rivalry. But yeah, probably Stone Cold vs McMahon's got to be there. Oh, honorable mention, probably NWO versus WCW before it went out of hand. And like NWO grew too big and stuff. Before it went out of hand, NWO versus WCW definitely would be out there in terms of top rivalries. Final question, another one from Ronnie Martinez. Well, would you fight Rogan Rex's, I don't like swearing, but BA, and it's not the BA you'd think of. Would I fight Rogan Rex one more time, basically, is the question. Probably not. The rivalry has no reason to continue now. The rivalry concluded properly now. Now we actually had a match. By the way, if we had a match in ENA and Rogan Rex won, in my last ENA match or whatever, the match between me and Rex wouldn't have happened in XWP, because at least the rivalry would have ended properly with a match between me and Rex. But because it didn't, we faced off in XWP. But would I face Rogan Rex one more time? No. I wouldn't really want to. The rivalry has run its course. Doesn't need to have a rematch. And that's the last question. Thank you to everybody who has posted a question, sent me a question to answer. Thank you for, well, considering it's 300 subscribers actually, thank you for making this possible. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, click the subscribe button if you want to, and they're gonna judge if you don't. But I'm gonna say thank you and goodbye.